everybody, and welcome to Board Game Breakfast. All right, we are in the middle of May. We just got back from CMON, and so there's a lot of cool things that they showed us and announced there. And we now go into another week. This week, I'll be at Geekway to the West in St. Louis, so if you're there, hopefully you'll come by and say hi to me. I'll be at the Colossal Game booth, showing off Western Legends and working with them part of the time. And the rest of the time, I'll just be wandering all throughout the halls and things and playing games and seeing people. So hopefully we'll have a chance to say hi at some point. So that is a lot of fun. We'll see you guys there. Other things that are coming up to keep in mind. Well, first of all, this Tuesday is Sam's birthday and my wife's anniversary. I mentioned Geekway to the West. Gen Con events. We have a couple Gen Con events. Our big live show is up there, so just search Dice Tower. You'll find that event. Come on out to that. Also, I'm doing a seminar on basically how the Dice Tower got to where it is, and so if you want to come to that, just, I guess, search for Tom Vasel, and you'll find that one. We have some events coming at Origins. Origins is not too far away. And UK Games Expo. A bit of bad news about the UK Games Expo. Sam is not going to be able to make the UK Games Expo due to some family things. So we're still going. Me and Z will be there. We're still going to be doing our events. We're going to be doing a top 10 with Dave Luza is going to be joining us for that. And so just keep those things in mind. A lot of things going on this month. I have more news and stuff about Dice Tower as time goes by. But for now, let's get to the other news. Okay, so in the news, first of all, Ares has announced an expansion for their Sword and Sorcery dungeon crawler game called Darkness Falls, which is really such a generic game. Yeah, Sword and Sorcery was already a generic name. Now they got Darkness Falls, which adds more stuff. All right. IDW has a cooperative dice allocation game, Gotham Under Siege. Now, this is based on the Batman animated series, which, as we all know, is one of the greatest cartoons of all time. But so you'll have to check this one out. I'm looking forward to this one coming out later this year. Fireside has a game called Grackles. This is an abstract strategy game where you're placing birds, trying to get birds out on telephone wires, where they'll sit next to the liars. AEG also has an abstract strategy style game called War Chess. It's a 2 to 4 player placement on a hex grid. You have cards, you're pulling poker chips from a bag. Looks pretty interesting, actually. I just like the way this one looks. I'm hoping it's one of those abstract games you're like, woof, let's keep playing it over and over again. Z-Man has a new game called Anchors Away. This is a Pirates set collection style game, and it's a very light-looking feel to it. Ultra Pro has announced that they'll be making a whole pile of accessories and sleeves for both Munchkin, all the different Munchkin things, including Munchkin CCG. CMON has announced Narcos the board game. This is based on the Netflix series. It's going to be a one versus all, like a hidden movement game, but different. I actually didn't have a chance to see how the game itself played. There's probably several other CMON announcements, but since I'm recording this earlier, we'll find out next week, I'm sure. Ludanova, this is a Spanish company, is making Hollywood Golden Age. This is a reprint of Tron Fabric, which is a fantastic game. It's actually been reprinted several times. Unfortunately, the game's only going to be in Spanish and French, I think. No word on an English language as of yet, but man, it sure looks pretty. All right, let's get to some big news now. Z-Man, a subsidiary of Asmodee, bought Love Letter from AEG, also Lovecraft Letter. Love Letter is one of the biggest gateway games that came out over the past few years. A very small game, and they made so many different variations of it. Will we see all kinds of variations from Asmodee now? Will we see Star Wars? I don't know, but because technically Star Wars was Fantasy Flight, not with Z-Man, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there. But then in a very related sort of news, there are rumors, or strong rumors, from Reuters actually, that Asmodee itself is up for sale. Now, if you don't know, Asmodee, which, many people think owns all the board games. They don't. There's many board games behind me they don't own. But they do own a lot of the main, biggest selling board games for sure. They were bought by a financial group, Eurazeo, several years ago. And Eurazeo basically does it. They buy things, they accelerate them, they make them bigger, and then they sell them off. And that's what happened. Ever since they bought Asmodee bought Fantasy Flight, they bought Mayfair games, they bought Z-Man games, they bought many different brands. They bought Spotted, they bought Catan. They just bought Love Letter, like we said. So they've been really expanding their portfolio. So now the rumor is that they're selling for $1.7 billion, which is quite a bit. Who they're selling to, we don't know. All kinds of speculation. I wouldn't worry about this right now. I wouldn't worry about anything until we see what happens. But it certainly will be interesting and affect the hobby as a whole, especially since Asmodee controls major distribution places all over the world, and they carry not just Asmodee games, but they carry many other company games. And so if they stop carrying those other company games, and those other companies are going to have to scramble and find a different way to distribute their games around the world. And of course, some of the biggest games in the world are from Asmodee. Ticket to Ride, Catan, Carcassonne, Love Letter, Spot It. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with all this stuff. I'm sure when it happens, it will be a big announcement, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's just another group that buys it. But we'll wait and see. All right, that's all we got in the regular news. Let's move on.
Hello guys, I'm Cardboard Rhino, and welcome to Rhino Says Yes. Today I brought a classic card game that I find endlessly enjoyable and that I've spent hours and hours playing in my teenage years. It's Tichu. Tichu is a trick-taking game for 2 teams of 2 players. The goal is to get rid of your hand, ideally while scoring points in the process. The first team to reach 1,000 points is the winner. The deck is a standard 52-card deck, but with some extra special cards. Players try to put down sequences of cards that trump everyone else's sequences. Whoever goes last wins the trick and gets to go first for the next trick. Sequences can be anything from single cards to pairs, to sequences of pairs, triples, full houses or straights, or bombs, which beat anything else. The first card played on a trick determines the only combination of cards that can be played on that trick. So for example, if I start playing a straight of 5 cards, then the next player can only play straights of 5 cards that start at a higher number than mine. At the start of a round and before playing any cards, any player can call Tichu. That indicates that the player thinks that she can empty her hand first this round. If she does so, her team wins 100 points, and if not, loses 100 points. If you're feeling extra confident, you can call Grand Tichu after having seen only your first 8 cards dealt, and that would double your Tichu bonus or penalty at the end of the round. Other cards that give your team points are 5s, 10s and kings, along with the phoenix and the dragon. Tichu is a simple and brilliant card game that can be taught to anyone. It requires quite a bit of strategy and wordless communication and coordination between your partner, and when you have gained enough experience on it, it makes a big difference for the gameplay. It's seriously addictive, so you gotta take it easy with it, but since it's a partner game, you're up for lots of fun and bonding time with your friends. So Rhino says yes to Tichu. You should definitely give it a try.
Hello and welcome to Tantrum House HQ. I'm Ryan Pills.
And I'm Katie Pills. And on the Throwdown today, we've got in the blue corner, Smash Up from AEG.
And in the red corner, we've got Cosmic Encounter from Fantasy Flight Games.
Smash Up from designer Paul Peterson is a 2 to 4 player game in which players fight over base cards using 2 random factions worth of cards that they have to shuffle together. Each player starts with 5 cards, and each takes a turn, and they're allowed to play either an action and a minion, and then they have to draw 2 cards. After playing their cards, they check to see if any of the bases scored, and then distribute points accordingly. The first player to 15 points wins.
Cosmic Encounter is a 3 to 5 player game in which players try to establish colonies on other players' planets using a random alien race. Players start with a hand of 8 cards, and each turn they draw from the Destiny deck to see which player's planets they have to attempt to colonize. They then pick a planet and a number of ships to send there, and both the offensive and defensive player ask for other players to commit ships as allies. Once all ships are committed, both players pick an encounter card and reveal them simultaneously. The encounter is then resolved based on who played the most attack power or who played to negotiate, and if the current player won, he gets to place ships on the other player's planet. The first player to colonize 5 foreign planets wins.
So today we're talking about simple mechanics that become complex with the variable player powers.
Cosmic Encounter has these crazy alien powers, which I really enjoy. I really also enjoy the negotiating alliances, and with 6 expansions, you can add a lot of depth and variety to the game, and even more players. What do you think about Smash Up?
Well, there's 11 expansions with one on the way. It's a lot of fun with these crazy factions. You could get crazy combos, like you could be the zombie princesses, and you can just have tons of fun with that.
Which one do you think won? Tell us your favorite in the comments.
So what's coming out from the Dice Tower this week? Well, I'm going to be taking a look at the new expansion for Role Player, a game called Groves, and many other different games I'm going to be reviewing over this week. I'll also be continuing my top 10 designer series with Leo Calavini and Rudiger Dorn. And we had our podcast. Mandy and Suzanne recorded their podcast together in person live at CMON so that will be posted this Tuesday. And of course, we have many other great podcasts in the Dice Tower Network. Check those out at dicetowernetwork.com. I'll be doing a live Q&A later today, and you might see some other live stuff throughout the week. So just keep your eye out for that. Let's move on.
Hey everyone, Gamer Joe here. This week on Works of Art, I'm going to be featuring Vincent Dutrait and artwork from Rising 5 by Grey Fox Games. From the box art, to the card art, to the components, his artwork is all over this game and he knocks it out of the park. His range is also spectacular. From the designs on the rescue team, to the creatures big and small, to the artifacts and relics that you'll find, even to the allies that you'll come across. He makes this game look spectacular. Even the game board is something to behold. The different terrain types to the larger artwork for the rescue team, it's amazing and stunning. If you guys want to see other artwork that he's done either within the industry or outside the industry, you should definitely go to his website. It's www.vincentdutrait.com. He has a gallery where he shows off artwork for previous board games, even board games that are coming out in the future, as well as works that he's done for role-playing games and children's books. He even has a section for character designs. Definitely check that out. He also has a Facebook page at Vincent Dutrait Illustrations where he shows off upcoming projects and also links to his website. Well, that's about it. If you want to get more info on Rising 5, you can come over to my YouTube channel, Board Game Artistry with Gamer Joe, and I'm also on Instagram at GamerJoe127. Until next time, guys, take care.
Hi, Mike Licio from Solomode Games. Recently, the Dice Tower released its nominations for the Dice Tower Awards, and a couple of people had made note that they would love to see in the future a solo board gaming category. Tom had said that he would definitely take that under consideration, and the fact that his new #1 game of all time is something he plays solo, I think bodes well for that. On the Dice Tower Facebook channel, a user by the name of Trevor Just put up a poll for people to come in and say what would be their top solo game of the year. And so with that being said, I thought I'd highlight that and run off the top 5 choices that have come up so far. At number 5, we've got Too Many Bones. At number 4, Nemo's War, 2nd edition. At number 3, the Arkham Horror Living Card Game. At number 2, Gloomhaven. And the game getting the most nominations is Seventh Continent. Now, I just want to be saying here that I did not vote on this. I didn't want to skew the results in any way. And so I'll be interested to see how this goes. I certainly have my own opinion. I like Seventh Continent. It wouldn't get my nomination for the top game of the year, but I am intrigued by these titles. I think that there's some really solid choices there. I've played 3 of those 5 titles, and I'm interested in the other 2. I have not played Arkham Horror Living Card Game or Too Many Bones, but I'll certainly take a look at that. But what are some of your thoughts? Are there other games that aren't on that list that you'd like to see added? If so, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Hey, hello there, and welcome to another Journey of a Known Board Gamer, where my friend Jess and I travel around the country and I try to teach him a game every week. And as you can probably notice, I'm a little under the weather, but we did still play the game. And what did we play this week, Jesse?
We played Nuns, No Siesta.
No Siesta. Do you remember what the game is about?
Well, it's actually a farm management game, and I guess you get no siesta when you're managing a farm.
That is true. So basically you have those dice that have different goods around it, and you have to roll the dice, so you keep drafting the die, and then you mark the goods in here, and you manage and you try to figure out which ones you wanted to accomplish, and you get different benefits from different areas that you fill it up on that little pad there. What do you think about the game, Jesse?
I thought it was fun, actually. You have to really develop a strategy as to what is really important for you at that particular time, whether it's putting a roof on the stables or whether it's accumulating vegetables or fruits or animals, or there's actually hats, which is another board that you can end the game quickly if you advance your hats on that game.
So is that a game you would play again? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I'd play it. Yeah.
So what's your verdict? Verdict approved or not?
I approve of it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really nice
It's
traveling
fun.
game. Yeah, it has a very small footprint, so we can play almost everywhere. It's just we can roll the die in a box and just having the pad with us, so it just takes a very little space. So it's really, really good. I really enjoy playing this and the full game. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us again, and sorry for my worse English than normal today, but I guess I see you guys next week. Happy breakfast, everybody.
Happy breakfast.
Two brothers set loose in a thrift store. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks.
Who's your favorite turtle, man?
Dude, Leonardo.
I've always been a Donatello guy myself, but like, Leo's low-key psychotic. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Michelangelo's got nunchucks. Yeah. Donnie's got a stick.
Yeah.
You know,
Raph's got, like size and some like anger.
But he's
those are
got
mostly defensive.
swords.
Yeah.
He's killed so many people. Like all those scenes where he throws them into the ceiling.
Kicks a guy.
Yeah, what you don't know is there's a guy on the ground.
Yeah,
on
turns
the
him into a
ceiling.
popsicle stick.
Cuts away before you see the blood start seeping out. He's the wrathful one. It's not Ra.
He's like Bruce Banner, the Hulk, who's just like, the key is I'm always mad. That's him. Like, he's the serial killer we all want and need.
Man.
He's the turtle for us all. And I relate to that too much. Alright, so this is Ninja Turtles Clash Alley, a strategic board game that's really cool and kind of 3D. There's all these different levels. You need to be getting these cards in order to help you out, and there's all these little villains around the board. There's 3 different dice you're going to roll. You're going to roll a die that helps you leap down from different structures, a die that helps you climb up structures, and a die that helps you run around. So on your turn, you're going to roll out your dice, which will give you your various movement. You might be able to run, and then again climb, and then leap down onto a villain. If you're fighting villains, there's little things you can add to your attack, like little attack bonus cards. If you're leaping off of different structures, you're going to get bonuses for that. So you're going to decide what bonuses you want to apply, and then you're going to flip over your villain to see what level they are, and then you're going to roll the leap die, which will give you your attack. And then we get to draw cards, which are going to help us in future actions and do things like going for missions. Ultimately, you want to get one of your mission tiles that matches yours, like Find April, and get back to your spot to win.
That was
Ninja Turtles Clash Alley.
Is that what it's called? Clash App? Ooh, I like
Yeah,
the
man.
name.
That's what
I've just been calling it the Ninja Turtles game.
This game is great because it offers you choices. You roll these 3 dice, and so there's a bit of roll and move there. You can choose how you do them, where you move, what you attack. You choose when you attack.
Yeah, you also have
There's
cards,
options.
so you could like use the run on your die, but then also run farther with the card.
Yeah.
You can kind of put some combos together. Unlike most kids' games, it actually has choices, and that's huge.
Which turtle are you? Which
Yes.
turtle is your spirit animal? Let us know your favorite Ninja Turtle in the comments below.
Check out our YouTube channel over at the Brothers Murph. We have lots of cool, fun content. Until next time, we'll see you in the alley.
See you in the alley. You're going to face the wrath of straight up from Leonardo and what.
One of the phrases I say a lot on our show is, let's move on. And life moves on, right? And I feel this now as a father. This past Saturday, my daughter graduated from high school. Melody is heading off to college. And it's kind of an unusual thing because many of you have seen Melody. I first started doing videos in 2008, so that's 10 years ago. So you first saw Melody when she was 8 years old. She's now 18, heading off for college. And so over the years, you've seen Melody grow up on camera to some degree. And a few of you sent her some graduation gifts, and that's very appreciated. And we want to say a huge thank you to all of you. But Melody's been part of the Dice Tower and been part of my life. Now, if you don't know, I have 7 children. Melody is the oldest. I figured it out. I think for the next 18 years, I'll be paying for college tuition. Oh, maybe longer than that. But Melody was the first when... Many people don't know this, but Melody almost died when she was 2 months old. She just, well, it's a long story, but the fact is she obviously did not. But she lost her sense of smell. She could have lost a whole lot of other worse things could have happened, but she lost her ability to smell. And I've always told her, if there's one thing to lose, that's probably the best of all of them. But she has had a really good attitude, and she likes gaming. All my kids are not big gaming fans. I love them all equally, whether or not they like games. Melody could have, moved in and taken over Dice Tower someday. That's not her desire. She wants to go on and be an elementary education teacher. I'm very pleased with that. Teaching is a great career. But she's been very involved with gaming, and you've seen her. We do Double Trouble episodes together. You've seen her come on and barely be able to describe a game to nowadays she can really give her back and forth. In fact, me and Jason did the top 100 list ago where she's able to give her top 100 games. These games behind me, she can play them really well and is constantly beating me these days in these games. People often ask me, how do you get your kids into gaming? And the fact is that I might have pushed Melody a little more when she was my only child when she at the beginning, and I played a lot of games with her. But some people just gravitate towards games and some don't. Melody has gravitated towards games and is really into games, and we're even picking a list of games for her to take with her to college. But there's a very strong possibility that, in a few years, she has different tastes and different diverse things. And that's fine. One of my other kids might get into board games. They might not. And each of my other kids, Amy, Holly, Claire, Violet, Ruby, and Jimmy, whether or not they like board games or not, I will be just as pleased with what they've done. But I did think I should give her a shout out here in the show because she has done a lot of great things for the show, from helping us in live plays to being behind the scenes a lot of times in the cameras and running different things, to coming in and interning here at the Dice Tower and doing a lot of work here behind the scenes that you guys don't see. People always kind of so you make Melody pick up all the pieces to the component drops. Not all of them, but she has done a lot of them through her lifetime, and she does a really good job. She can take something and sort it out. She builds the inserts for me because I'm not very good at that from when we get them for games. She builds decks for things. She has just been really involved in gaming and has been a big help. And I'm a little sad, right? She'll still be around for the next couple months. She'll be at Gen Con if you want to see her there. And then that's the last hurrah, right? This coming August, she'll be heading off to college, and then I'll be down to 6 kids, which will still keep me pretty busy. But I just thought that I would give her a bit of a shout out here. Congratulations. She's worked very hard. She's always been kind of a self-working person, put a lot of effort behind the scenes that I haven't had to push her very much. And so there you go. It's the end of an era, the beginning of another one. What does this mean for the Dice Tower? Well, we'll see. I got other kids behind the scenes working on stuff, and maybe some other kids will step to the forefront. Or maybe not. Either way, congratulations, Melody.
Hi folks, this is Jonathan for This Is Broken, and today's game is going to be Welcome to Centerville by Chad Jensen. So bear with me, I'm going to show what I think is broken inside that game. So, this is the part I think it's broken inside Welcome to Centerville. At the beginning of each of your turn, you're going to roll all of those dice as a Yahtzee style up to 3 times, keeping dice apart if you want. And when you're done, you're going to spend those dice to do actions. The problem goes with those check marks right there. What they do, they let you grab one of the office right here. You need at least 2 check marks if the office it's empty. And one of them must match the color. So here I can grab the red one, let's say. And if somebody is already inside the office, you need more check marks for. So for this example right there, I will need 2 check marks, and one of them must be green. The problem goes with the green office. What does it do? It lets you play a full turn again minus the green dice. Come on! This is way too much powerful against those other office. Those 2 right here gives you points. points are good. Points are great because that points is going to make you win the game. This is going to make one of your cubes right here move to an higher spot. It's really good. This one's going to prevent you from getting hurt by a disaster that may not even happen in that game. And this one's going to make your disc here move all the way to the top, gain points at the end of the game, and gain a special tile if you get moved down by another player. But going another turn with the green office, it's way too much powerful in my taste. And that's the part I think it's broken. Inside, welcome to Centerville. Thanks again for watching. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Francis.
Welcome to AntLab Games Office Hours.
A short segment where we discuss the finer points of board gaming.
All right, so what are we talking about this week?
So this week we're focusing on introspection.
Interesting.
So we thought with con season approaching, we would talk a little bit about some board gamer bad habits that we are all guilty of, so that you can form some really great friendships and be a better board gaming partner.
Board game etiquette.
Yes, if you will.
All right.
All right, so number one is forgetting that it's just a game. As someone who enjoys competing asymmetrically, I'm guilty of this one. If you're like me, you get so immersed in the game and developing the perfect strategy that even small blows feel like a setback. Instead of getting mad, consider the challenges to overcome. These are the aspects that vary your experience. So next time someone starves off your pawn, remember that they may be guiding you toward a strategy you hadn't considered. Great. Your turn. I'm very unhappy right now.
Okay.
Just to make that clear.
And next one is gloating. In the same vein, gloating can come across as insensitive, especially if you are playing with newer gamers. It's awesome to be proud of a killer strategy, but consider balancing your gloat by commending others for their victories as well, even if they do something to wreck your own plans.
There we go. I owned you in this game. So next is slamming a game for not meeting your own expectations. If you walked into a horror movie expecting a comedy, it would be unreasonable to criticize the director for not making it funny.
I'm not lucky with dice.
This was not a luck-based dice game.
Yeah, but it was still dice.
Even if a game doesn't meet your expectations, consider the designer's intent and appreciate the mechanics for what the designer set out to do.
And finally, expecting to be taught everything about the rules on game night.
It's the worst.
If you commit to a game night, or to learning a game with friends, take some time ahead of the event to at least get a grasp on the mechanics and rules of the game. Expecting to be taught everything is frustrating for everyone, as games take longer to get to the table, and will likely result in you not having a fully enjoyable experience as well. Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, so I guess we're ready to get started.
Okay. So what are we doing?
You kidding me?
No, where do I put my guy? Just dice, right?
I just sat here for like a half an hour.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week.
Yeah, so tell us what bad habits you're guilty of in the comments below. I know we've divulged some of ours.
Exactly. Well, we kind of lay ours bare.
Right, yeah, we do.
So, there you have it. Well, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Francis.
We're from AntLab Games. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Happy breakfast, everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about a game called Favelas. Now, this is a solid game in the way that you are, on your turn, taking a tile, placing it over the top of the favela you've already got, and if you match colours, you can then adjust that die up 1 pip or down 1 pip. And at the end of the round, whoever's got the most of each colour is going to score that many points. Now, gameplay-wise, it's fun, although not maybe that inspiring. Now, I like the colours, the bright artwork of the game, but the theme itself is the beautification of the favelas. Now, I'm all up for celebrating sort of everything from all walks of life, but the favelas is somewhere that it's hard for people to live. Now, that's easy for me to say, somewhere not like that, but I feel it's almost harsh going for the beautification of something that so many people struggle to live there. Anyway, I'd like to know your thoughts on the matter. Maybe it's a good idea because it gets something like the favelas actually into people's minds, so we're actually discussing it and talking about it. But let me know in the comments section below. And I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Roy Kennedy at the CMON Expo, and I'm Chris Renshaw from the Boards and Swords podcast, and this is Role Playing. Alright Roy, what is your favorite RPG story, game, whatever?
So I used to run D&D encounters at like a local, it was actually like a hobby shop where mostly what they sold was like RC cars, but they let me come in and start running D&D games. So it was cool because Wizards of the Coast used to send like a bunch of different modules and we had like game days and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, they had just released their 4th edition Dark Sun. I know 4th edition, don't burn me at the stake. But
I'm done.
4th edition Dark Sun, and they had like a game day module, and it was this cool thing where you're like trying to go like find this place that there might be water. I don't know if you know about the Dark Sun, but we had this one encounter where it's like this Timbo like weird like monster like lion underground thing, and it was like guarding this water, and we actually had 3 different tables running this campaign. At the same time, because I had like done encounters so much that there was a lot of people doing it. We're playing around, and the Timbo is just like wrecking them. He has like multiple activations and the initiative, and everybody's getting wrecked, and they're like doing their hardest and fighting and everything like that. And then the creature gets bloodied, and one of the players is like, "He's bloodied. Now I can do a intimidation check. I'm going to try to intimidate him."
Yeah.
I'm just like, "You're going to try to intimidate this thing? He's like wrecking you guys." And he's like, "I'm going to do it." He rolls a 20, like natural 20, and I'm like, as a DM at that point, I'm just like, what do? Well, whenever someone rolls a 20, you have to like make whatever they want happen, right? So I'm like,
Sure.
okay, man, give us your speech. And he stands up on a chair and it's like, dude, man, you keep knocking us down, but you're never going to stop us. We're going to get up over and over again. And you're just down here. I see all this water. You've just been down here crying all day. Like, you need to get out of here and stuff like that. And the Timbo left and ended up winning the encounter, which was basically the end of the scenario. And we ended up going out for pizza, and all the other tables had TPKs, but our table, they scared the monster away, and a super epic D20 roll.
Nice.
So that's one of my crazy D&D stories, so hopefully that works.
Okay, so thanks, Roy. If you want to follow some of Roy's stuff, you can go check out his podcast, Epic Gaming Night, or Favorite Game Fridays on the Dice Tower. And for my stuff, make sure you follow me on social media. And next time, may all your hits be crits.
I don't have any crazy stories.
We can fix that.
Hey there everyone, I'm Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes with this week's segment, From the Page to the Table. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Connecticut, and I thought we'd have a little change of setting for you. This week's selection is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by one of the granddaddies of science fiction, Jules Verne. This is the title that I picked a couple of years ago for Classics Book Club, and people really enjoyed this classic adventure story. Jules Verne had worked really hard in his life to educate people, I think, about marine biology too. So much of this book focuses on marine biology, and that was one thing that people really enjoyed. Of course, there is the now classic story of Captain Nemo and his search as well. Now, of course, this is going to be an obvious pairing for a board game this week, and it's Nemo's War, published by Victory Point Games, designed by Chris Taylor, artwork by Ian O'Toole, whose artwork is just rising in my favorites. 1 to 4 players, roughly 2 hours. At its heart, however, I feel like this game is a solitaire game. I think it was originally designed as that, and this is the 2nd edition that I'm showing off here. And they threw in some cooperative modes. It truly captures that adventure story feeling that you have going on in the book. You're sailing around the seas, you're doing a lot of storytelling along with it as well, and capturing things, direct clips and quotes from the book. Love this game in terms of its adventure aspects, and I'll see you next week. Happy breakfast, everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Dave Luza and this is Playing the News. It is that week of the year again where whole of Europe is going crazy. The madness of the Eurovision Song Contest is upon us. 43 countries are battling it out to see who brings the best song of Europe in a festival that started out in 1956 to try to overcome obstacles that Europe was having at that time, to bring people together. This year features, among other things, someone trying to be a chicken, a burning piano, and a lot of screaming. I can't wait until the finals tonight. This week I am playing a game that resembles that craziness in a perfect way. This week I am playing Mountains of Madness. In Mountains of Madness, players are trying to overcome obstacles together in real time. Obstacles that need the right hand cards, but most of all, communication.
No one look! No one look! Don't look at me!
Once players start failing these obstacles, the madness sets in. How do you communicate which card you have if you are not allowed to say the type of card you're holding, but you can only say you've got the card with the thingy? Or how about not being able to see which cards you can play? I think you can imagine it is craziness all around. I can't wait to play the game again, so a big recommendation from me for Mountains of Madness. My name is Dave Luza. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Matthew here, and this is my series on my favourite card games. And this week's card game is Whist, the most casual trick-taking card game ever. If you've never played a card game, you still may have played Whist. Doesn't make any sense, that, does it? You wouldn't have. Anyway, Whist. You can play in teams, or you can play all for yourself, because winning is everything, as you know. And then the first player leads off, and you have to follow suit. And if you can't follow suit, you can play any cards. And if you play a trump, then you win the trick. It really is one of the simplest and most casual trick-taking card games ever. And because of that, I've played thousands of hands of Whist in a caravan in Wales with my family. And it's just great. Whist is the quintessential card game that is not about playing cards. It's just about sitting around with your family or your friends and having something to do while you talk, or in my case, while it rains terribly from all directions, upwards and downwards across the northern Welsh countryside. But those holidays are some of my fondest memories, and I think I owe a lot of that to just playing card games. And I owe a lot of this playing board games to those times where we sat around waiting for the rain to stop, just playing Whist. So, if you've got family members that don't know or don't care about card games or anything like that, try Whist, because it's so simple. But it is just a great card game. And that's it. Thank you.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. I'll see you guys later today for a live Q&A. Thanks so much for stopping on. Thanks to all my contributors once again for doing a fantastic job. Lots of cool things. I was able to hang out with some of them this past week, and I look forward to hanging out with them at the conventions. I'll see you guys at Geekway to the West. If you're there, certainly come by and say hi to me. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower.